Hi, good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Wellness Wednesdays with me, Yehudis Schamroth, the nurse that does acupuncture and Chinese medicine and integrative medicine. It is a beautiful day today as I broadcast to you from the rolling Judean hills of Ramat Beit Shemesh, Israel. But I do have to make a mention that we are living under fire right now from Hamas and the Islamic Jihad, who have launched over 600 rockets at our innocent civilians. Israel has a legitimate right to defend itself and its people, and we're standing strong. We're helping each other. And despite everything that is going on in Israel right now, there is no place I'd rather be. That's the Holy Land, and we're all here, even despite 52 injured and 3 dead. Please know that we are doing everything we can just to defend ourselves. You're watching from all over the world. Don't believe CNN. Believe people that live here like us. I want to thank God for the IDF, the Israeli Defense Force. The God of Israel is protecting us, keeping us all safe, and we're praying, of course, for all the injured people out there, and our hearts are with people who lost their loved ones. And despite the fact that we may be in wartime situations, this is one thing that's beautiful about Israel. Life always goes on here, and we try the best that we can to carry on. Not that we're living in a bubble. We just know that we can't let our enemies get us down. So without further ado, I'm going to carry on with my program today as usual. The weekly program focuses on different health-related topics, and through much information that is out there. There's so much information and there's so much misinformation. So I try to spend a lot of time educating myself so I can pass over extract the best bits of information that are the truest for you. I hope that you tune in every Wednesday. I'm also on YouTube. I have a YouTube channel, and you can like the YouTube channel. And please don't hesitate to contact me here on the chat or on the YouTube channel or on Facebook. And try to give me some suggestions on what you'd like me to talk about or who you would like me to interview. We've done many of the same topics over and over. And today's topic is a little bit of a continuation of something we speak about quite often, which is changing your habits for a better health. I've spoken about this in so many different ways with so many different people, but it's really important to just keep reminding ourselves why we need to be healthy, how we need to be healthy. So many of us sit here, and I'm included. I'm talking to myself. I'm a 63-year-old woman, and thank God I have so much energy and I have so much life in me, and I have so much more to go, I hope. But, if I don't really do better every day taking care of myself, I'm not going to continue on this way. I just have to do some more and more all the time for changes. We know we're not eating the healthiest foods anymore, unless we eat organic. That was one program we did. We talked about why and how to eat organic. We talked about detoxification of our bodies because of the toxic foods and cosmetics and air and everything else out there right now. So you can go back to YouTube and watch all those different channels, and they all boil down to the same thing: is how can we change our habits for a better health, and how can we change from the inside out? I have a special guest today. She's going to be at the end of the program, as I have to just do a few slides. Nechama Rausman, who lives in Efrat, Israel. She is a certified integrative health coach, and she has her take on what to do, and she will give us a lot of insights as to how we can get ourselves started and motivated and maintain a very, very good health. So we have to remember that the whole body operates on a system as it's one system. It's not just different pieces of the body that operate independently from one another. We need to treat people. And that's what we do in our field. We treat the whole body. I had a person who called me today. He's got migraines. And I said, I'm not going to treat your head. I said, I look at things neurologically. I hope that you check that out already with your physician to make sure there's nothing serious. But after we've done that, then we're going to see, maybe it's your digestion that's giving you migraines. Maybe it's your food intake. Maybe it's your stress level. Maybe it's your inability to get some good exercise and good sleep. We have to look at all the things to get to the root cause of why you're not well. And one of the ways we can stay well is on our own. We have to take responsibility. I did a whole webinar on taking responsibility for our own health. We did that. You can look back. And I had a doctor on, a medical doctor on, talking about what his expectations are for his patients coming in and what his patients' expectations are of him. Of course, it's a changing climate. Everybody can be Dr. Google now. You can get yourself on internet and you can teach yourself everything. And you can go in and you can demand your doctor do everything. And, in a way, it's really fantastic to take charge of your health. But, it's not like you can go in and tell somebody of 20 years of experience all what to do. You have to work together. There's a balance on everything in life. So we know the body is a holistic being. We have to treat it all together as one. We have to understand how the whole body operates as a system, and not just how they work independently. So because of that, because we're seeing so much problems with heart disease, we used to see just the cardiologist or the rheumatologist, or for your joint pain, or your dermatologist for skin problems. It's still very, very important to do. Please don't stop doing that. Well, you have to know that it's all one body. We're putting it all together, and nutrition can tie it all together. tie it all together. It's a little bit of a roadmap that's a little bit different than what we used to learn, you know, in my 60s right now. So of course I trained in the 1970s. Nutrition was not the biggest topic then. And I see now more and more over the years that it's so important to look at the nutritional health of oneself and their family in order to go forward with a healthier body, going in the right direction of health. We know that millions of people are suffering from every chronic disease now, from diabetes, hypertension, thyroid disease, anemias, bleeding disorders, all kinds of autoimmune illnesses. It has a lot to do with our nutrition, truthfully. We're not getting the best quality food, as I mentioned, but we can step that up and we can improve things. We talked many times about antioxidants and how they help you. And of course, I have a WhatsApp group that I hope you join because I write about these things frequently, like 3 times a week. I went down from 5 times to 3 times a week because I was getting too many. It was like a long blog every day. So I'll list all the anti-inflammatory foods out there for you and different diets we discussed before. But this is not about diets. This is not about going on a diet, but and I say that every time, but the truth is, if you eat healthily, you will lose weight. And that also makes your body feel better and it makes you feel better. So let's go to our slides and talk for a few minutes about how we get ourselves into a healthy situation and a healthy lifestyle. Okay, how do we change? Health changing from the inside out. That pretty much means your food. Also means a lot of other health style changes too, but you know that. Okay, we're going to talk about this. So we want to optimize our nutrition. That's the same thing that we're talking about all the time. We are made of the stuff that we eat. Our biology, our biochemistry, our physiology needs certain raw materials to keep it running optimally. And the right balance and quality of protein, fats, and carbohydrates, the right vitamins, the right minerals, and the right dose for each and every one of us, and all the colorful pigments and all the health plants, foods out there, they're called phytonutrients because they're phyto meaning plant nutrients, that support our well-being and function. So nearly all of us, though, are a little bit nutritionally imbalanced in one way or the other. So the first step we want to do in very, very basic terms, I have to go to my slideshow here. We know that poor nutrition has a very bad effect on our health. It increases our risk of heart disease. It increases our risk of cancer, increases our risk of diabetes, increases our risk of high blood pressure. It increases risk of low self-esteem due to underweight, overweight, being too tired, lack of energy, dealing with the emotions. I did a whole segment on digestive health and gut health and how the serotonin and all the neurotransmitters are actually made in the small intestine, and that's where the immune system is at work too. So it really behooves us to take very good care of our gut health and our digestive systems, and that we can take care of a lot of issues, depression and ADHD, and maybe this friend I'm going to see later on who's got migraines, maybe this is his issue right there. We're going to find that out today. So the first step we're going to do to help ourselves is we can see here prescription drugs. And all kinds of bad foods will give you headaches and nausea and weight gain and fatigue and dizziness, vomiting, impotence, all that stuff. And healthy foods, it's very simple. It's such a no-brainer when you think about it, but we just always have to talk about it every day so we can always remind ourselves. Eating healthy food will bring us clarity. It'll lower our blood pressure. It'll give us great hair and it'll give us weight loss and good skin. You know, people who are worried about their skin, I'm in the age group where I care about my skin enormously. And I'm always reading about, should I take collagen and what foods I should eat to really lubricate my skin better? You know, it's important. You see it reflected on your body. It's not just something that's just for, you can use it for, the food is prescriptive purposes too. There's a doctor, Dr. Lee, I talk about him all the time. Dr. Lee writes food prescriptions to people. This is a new concept for all of us, especially those of us in medicine. So we want to optimize our nutrition by taking out the bad stuff. That means the things that create imbalance, such as nutrient poor, processed diet, toxins, allergens, causing infections and stress, and remove what's bugging you, literally. And if you have 10 tacks in your foot, you can't take them out one at a time. You're gonna keep all. You can take all the aspirin and medicine you want, but if you still have those tacks in your foot, you're going to have pain. So that means take all the bad stuff out of your body and don't even bring it into your home, okay, if it's possible. It's hard for me because I like my potato chips. I like my wine. So for me, that's been very hard over the years. And even my kids right now, I say this all the time. My kids are way healthier than me now. I didn't always raise them in the health. I always raised them in health. That's the truth. Because I'm a nurse, we always had healthy lifestyle. Always had vegetable soup. We always had very good healthy choices of drinks and things. But I also let them eat their fair share of junk food and processed food. And I wouldn't do that now. And we stopped about it when they were in high school. And now they are way healthier than me. Thank God. Okay, the second step in healthing ourselves is to add the good stuff back. Get rid of the bad and add high quality whole foods, nutrients, water, oxygen, light to your body, light to your face, because you get vitamin D from light, as we know. We talked a lot about corona and vitamin D. Movement, sleep, relaxation, community, connection, love, meaning, purpose. That all has to be done for the body's natural intelligence and healing system to take care of the rest. So we want to know what you have to examine what phase you're in now. Are you in a phase of where you're just contemplating making changes, or are you making changes and you're becoming a little bit successful? You need to step it up a little bit. Did you create a routine? Are you maintaining yourselves? You just have to, there's a people you can talk to, nutritional experts who we will see one of today, and that's Nechama. She'll tell us how she can help you. But right now, if you're on your own, you just have to know that just healthy habits in general will go a long way, just by cutting out foods. I'm going to go through what Dr. Furman is, a nutritional expert. He says eating a high nutrient diet actually makes you more satisfied. So you can eat less food, and gives you the ability to enjoy food without overeating. So if you're worried about overeating or weight loss, you just have to know that eating nutrient-dense food, and again, you can look all these things up because everybody can look at Google now to see which of the nutrient-dense foods, or you can go back to my previous YouTube videos because we've done a segment on each and every one of these things. So if you're still in the contemplation stage, do as much research as you can to see, think about it. Think about what you need to do for your own self. There's no postage stamp situation. The keto diet is fantastic for so many people. Veganism is fantastic for so many people, but it's not right for everybody. Each one is not right for everyone. You have to see what is right for you. You have to make up your mind to take some action now. You have to make up your mind and make a goal. I'm going to go through the 10 steps you can do, simple things you can do to change just today to help yourself get on the right healthy eating journey. But if you don't make that commitment, it's just not going to happen for you. Okay, in order to get some real concrete changes, you have to make a goal and change some steps of what you're doing. Karen Solomonson says, eating healthy food fills your body with energy and nutrients. So imagine your cells smiling back at you and saying, thank you. And I say this to my patients all the time. I say, with regard to a procedure I do called Gua Sha, which is a very deep massage with a tool, with a jade stone. Scraping it is, but brings blood to the surface. I said and they feel so good to people. It gets rid of pain. It brings blood to the surface. It's mechanical. It's not rocket science. But I say to people all the time, the reason why this feels so good and why massage feels so good, which you should get regularly, is because it moves the blood up. It brings fresh blood to the skin, and fresh oxygen makes the cells say to you and your body say, thank you for giving me that oxygen. I really needed that. That's the truth. So here are, without further ado, 10 steps, very simple steps so you can take starting today to get yourself healing from the inside and out. Now, these are probably too small to see. I'm not good at making slides. I should get a really professional person to help me. But in any case, here they are. We want to go through these 10 steps at least, and there's many, many more, okay? First of all, before you even set your goals, you want to raise your awareness, as I said. What do you need as an individual? Do you need to lose weight? Do you need to just cut back on sugar? Do you need to control your diabetes? Do you need to work on your cardio system? Do you need to lower blood pressure? Do you just want to live healthily, sleep better? Write down all the things that you want to improve about your life. And that way you can raise the awareness. And once you raise the awareness, then you talk about it with other people who find a successful person who's done it already, who's lost weight or moved into a healthy lifestyle, and ask them how they did it and ask them how they feel. So raising the awareness is the first step in changing anything. Even if you're going to be nicer to your family or you're going to quit smoking, you got to raise the awareness that this is a problem. You need to know that this is a problem, and then you can move forward from there. Okay, you want to set a goal. So setting a clear goal is, you're going to be more likely to succeed with it. So break a larger goal into several smaller goals if you need to. The best goals are specific, measurable, agreed upon, realistic, time-based. So be sure to celebrate every success that you have. Because if you have unreasonable goals, you're not going to achieve them. If a keto diet isn't for you or vegan diet isn't for you, don't go on that diet. I'm always talk about setting yourself up for success, which is after setting the goal. Take the junk food out of your house. Don't make, there's a concept in Jewish thought which put a stumbling block in front of a blind man. So don't put potato chips in your house if you're trying not to eat them. Don't put alcohol in your house if you're trying not to drink it, and so on and so forth. Just fill your house. You don't have to ransack your house and remove everything. But even if you do have stuff in the house for the kids or the grandchildren, what I find works for me is I put things in a box, like a plastic container, and I put it in my husband's office. because he actually likes to snack all day and he's skinny, he can do it. But if I see that it's out of sight, it's out of mind for me. So I don't go to that snack drawer anymore and say, oh, what's in here, a chocolate or a whatever. I don't even go look anymore because I know it's empty, and I have to make a big effort to go into his office to get something. That's my way of setting myself up for success, in addition to not buying it at all. Okay, you want to create a simple morning routine. So why would you want to have a morning routine? My daughter gave me a nice tip. She said she just decided that she would change every morning by doing some simple stretches. And she would just see if that would change her lifestyle. And now she's a thin young woman. She's very healthy, thank God. She's a dancer. So you can imagine she's in great shape. She doesn't have any cravings for junk food or alcohol or sugar. She's an amazing person. She keeps very, very healthy, starts her day off with eggs and salad or something like that. And I never see her snacking. She just fills up with very good, high nutrient dense foods. But in any case, she said, I want to change my morning routine. So she started doing this like in a dance sort of stretching that takes her not even 5 minutes. And she said she just feels fantastic. So that's what I mean by starting a simple morning routine. It didn't take her much effort, and you could start the routine by doing that yourself too. Drinking a glass of ice water with some lemon in it, or a cup of tea with lemon in it, and just doing a little meditation, or just thinking about what you want to do for the day, making your lists. That's a nice, simple routine that you can start by. It helps ground you and center you before you start snacking and reaching for the food right away. There are some diets that tell you, make sure you eat breakfast. I'm not here to tell you that because I'm not the nutritionist that you need to talk to. It's up to you. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. But we'll talk to our nutritionist and see what she says. Okay. We always want to avoid packaged, I didn't write that right. Of packaged and processed foods. Dr. Hyman talks about this. Dr. Lee talks about this. They're the evils of our generation right now. Everything in a package is so super bad for you. It just increases the bad fats in your body, and it makes you create more fat in your body. It causes heart disease, diabetes, out of control sugar, insulin resistance, blah, 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 the whole thing. Please stay away from packaged foods. And then everybody's sick of my story. But I realized over the years that I used to have 2 grocery baskets. One was for all my real foods, my whole foods, my fish, my meat, my cheese, my milk and everything. And the other one was all these packaged foods. I would buy Wacky Macs for the kids and potato chips and boxes of rice and all these different things. And I cannot believe that was me 20 years ago, because I'd hardly ever have any packages in my basket anymore. I'm really proud of myself for that, because I really have moved completely away from packaged foods, except for the odd occasion when I want to bring something different into the house. But again, you don't have to be super strict. You can just make sure you limit. You can always splurge and indulge in things, but make it at a limited basis, because that'll keep you successful in your health journey. So again, eat nutrient-dense foods. Create a good sleep schedule, because even on weekends, it's very important to get sleep. You don't want to be staying up till 3 o'clock in the morning and getting up at 7. It's your body's time to rejuvenate and regrow and rest. So give that opportunity. If you have problems with sleep, you might want to see a person like myself, an integrative health care coach, or an acupuncturist. You can go on Chinese herbal medicines. That kind of stuff really helps with insomnia. So there is a problem. There's an imbalance in your body. Insomnia doesn't come out of nowhere. So please investigate that and try to fix that up, because it's so crucial that you get a good night's sleep. You want to eat your vegetables at every meal. You want to drink more water. Why do we drink more water? We talk about this every week. Drink more water. Probably should be at the top of your list. And in fact, I see more people carrying around water all the time. So that's really fantastic. So you want to make sure that you it helps so much consistently to drink water through the day. We live in the desert here in Israel. I say 1.5 liters is your minimum. Somebody said to me the other day, oh, I have such a dry mouth, I don't understand. I said, because you are dehydrated. Look at your tongue. It's completely dry. And you have to drink. You're a man, I told him. I said, you have to drink at least 3 liters a day here in the summer in the desert of Israel. And he was a young, healthy man. So, and there are other ways to keep fluid in your body in a more meaningful way with herbal medicines, which we've talked about before, and I can talk about again. But drinking water will boost your energy, improve your mood, and aid in your digestion, just as a minimum. Hydrates, removes toxins, all that stuff. Okay, get moving now, everybody. Everybody's got to exercise. You'd start your walking, even if it's, my friend and I were talking yesterday. There's this really cute YouTube out there of a woman named Leslie Sansone. She doesn't pay me to say this. She does walking in your own home, walk inside, walk fit videos. And she's so cute, and she's so peppy and enthusiastic. And she gets you moving and walking forwards and backwards and sideways. And before you know it, 30 minutes is up, and you have a little bit of a sweat, and you feel great. You moved everything. You moved in every direction. And she has even more physically taxing ones up to 2 miles. She gauges the music to to the beat of the miles per hour, so you can really get, how much you're traveling. It's a lot of fun. You don't have to leave your house in the hot weather or the cold weather, but do something every day, your stretches, but if you don't get moving, you're not going to see any changes either, even if you're not trying to lose weight, okay? Even if you're not trying to lose weight, you've got to pump the blood through your heart, okay? Other things before I introduce my guest, you want to make your indulgences high quality. Make sure they're good stuff, okay? Make sure it's very, very good from your favorite bakery or something. Don't eat like junky stuff. And forgive yourself if you don't stick to your routine, because, just forgive your mistakes and moves on, okay? You don't have to be perfect, because you're going to stress yourself out that way. You try to remove stress from your body as well, which is not easy to do. We live under war conditions right now. Try to tell these people in my neighborhood, try to remove your stress from yourself when your kids are all home too. Kids are all home right now. Nobody could go to school today. It's a little stressful here in Israel. So take some time for meditation with your phone off. I always tell the men that come to me for treatments, I take their phone away and I put it away, and they take a nap for like an hour with needles in them. And I say, you're not really coming for the acupuncture. You're coming for the hour's worth of nap that you get in my house, in my room, in my acupuncture office. And I take your phone away and no one can call you or bother you. But this is true. An hour's rest a day is super, super, super charging. Okay, so now I want to introduce my guest, who's from Efrat, Israel. Let me get rid of my slides here. And stop share screen. Okay. Nechama Rausman. I hope I said that right. Nechama, she is a certified integrative nutritional coach. She lives in Efrat, Israel. Hi, Nechama.
Hi, thank you for
I'm sorry
having
you
me.
listen to my whole spiel there, but you will tell me where you agree and where you don't, and where you can add to
very
me.
interesting.
Professional. Good. So she says on her, she's got a beautiful, beautiful website. It's called Wellness with Nechama, correct?
Yes.
Wellness with Nechama. It's a beautiful website. I'm going to put this in the chat.
Thank you.
She says her passion for wellness began when she started to seek solutions for personal health issues that doctors couldn't find what was wrong with her. And so she found that making changes in various aspects of her life had a huge impact on her health, and her journey made her serious in order to go to school and learn the trade herself and to help other people, many, many other people. And she speaks to many people about what she does, and she helps them remove suffering and unhealthy and unhappy lifestyle issues. So, and she said her career took a natural turn when she realized health coaching was the perfect fit for her personality, skills, and interests. So I would like Nechama, without further ado, welcome to Wellness Wednesdays, and tell us what you can do. This is the last thing on the list of what you should do to make some changes. See a nutritionist who can help you with specific goals and specific issues. So tell us about yourself.
Okay, so like I said, I have a background in science. I studied neuroscience and behavioral biology in university. And then I came to Israel and couldn't really work in the field because of language barriers and things like that. So I worked in writing and marketing for many, many years. Wow. And what I realized after all those years was that when you're busy with your life doing something that doesn't inspire you, and drains you, that eventually there will be negative health ramifications to that. So, so that's basically what happened to me. And thankfully, I had the strength to say I need to make a change here. And many people that come to me are at that point of whether it's because of a diet or whether it's because of a situation in their life that's causing them stress or that's uninspiring, or they're not using their creativity and their gifts, or whether they're in a rut or whatever it is, your body eventually will get to a point where it will tell you enough. So thank God that's what happened to me. I've always loved moving and exercising. I was also a dancer growing up, like your daughter, and I was active. I went to gyms from a young age. And I always also loved cooking and being in the kitchen and expressing my creativity through that. And then I have my science background. So when I had decided to make this change and I was trying to figure out what I was going to do, once I started looking into this career path, it became very clear to me that this is what I'm meant to be doing in the world. And I love working with people as well. So basically what I do is I help people get from that point that they want to make the change to making changes and feeling better and being happier and addressing all of the issues that might be contributing to their negative health, both physical and emotional. A lot of times people will go to a doctor or a dietitian and they'll be told, okay, you need a change, but they won't be supported in the process of doing that. Mm-hmm. So that's where I step in.
We support them in their process. And that's so important. Exactly. Because this is what I was saying earlier, that people can examine everything they need to do, and that's great to write it down and make the goals and set themselves up for success. But there are times that people just need to turn to someone like you for not just advice, but just to be there to support and also verify what they're doing is correct.
Right. So something that you kept mentioning that was really ringing true with me was, everybody is sort of using Google these days to find information about what they should be doing. And I actually just right before this, I gave a live on my Facebook group about this very issue about how the wellness industry is so confusing and so overwhelming, because there are scientists out there that are showing proof and evidence that keto works. And then there are scientists showing proof and evidence that a vegan diet works. And how does a person who just shows up trying to get information know what works for them? It's very, very confusing. And even through my training, we were learning these completely opposing points of view that were evidence-based. And what it comes down to is that we are each bio-individual and we each have our own response to the food that we're eating. So myself and my twin sister who lives in America, even though we have the same DNA and we were brought up in the same place, because of everything that's happened in our lives and because of our microbiome in our gut and because of how we live and our lifestyle, we could respond to the same exact foods in a completely different way. Right. So I help people figure out how to listen to their body and what works for them. And most importantly, I think that somebody who is maybe listening to a podcast or reading about what they should be doing, oftentimes people are told, okay, you have to make these drastic changes. You have to basically uproot your entire lifestyle and start from scratch. And a lot of people are very resistant to that because that's scary and people don't want to do it and it's totally overwhelming. And frankly, a lot of people try and they fail. So they believe that they're failures and they believe they don't have the willpower and they believe they can't do it. So what I try to do and my message out there is that people have to just take small steps and work through those steps. So this is the process I go through with my clients. We work on 1 to 3 things. Pick the things that seem most doable and that seem most urgent sometimes, or whatever they decide they want to work on during that time. And we work through the process. How do we create these small habit changes? What obstacles are in the way? How can we, assess if something didn't go the way we wanted to, why was that? But also to create a sense of balance, that you don't have to be black or white, that it doesn't have to be extreme. The point is that your mindset has to be, first of all, you have to establish your why. Why are you doing this? What, like you said before, that you want to see where you are and assess where you are and assess where you want to be. So what is your why? Is it that you want to avoid getting an illness that runs in your family? Is it that you want to be on the floor playing with your grandkids or children? Is it that you want to just feel better in your body? Whatever your why is, it has to be strong enough that you can shift your mindset to saying, I'm committed to this. And that doesn't mean that it's all or nothing. It doesn't mean that I'm either on my diet or I'm off my diet. It means that this is a journey and I'm going to make choices to accomplish my goals, but also, like you said, have compassion for myself and have it come from a place of love, and rather than body hatred, but honoring your body and listening to your body, and most of the time making good choices, but also enjoying life, because that enjoyment and that the community aspect and the happiness also help our bodies to function better. And in the end, more and more studies are coming out now that community and social life and happiness are even greater indicators of longevity and health than what we're actually eating and putting in our bodies. Because those are nutrients. That joy and those chemicals that run through our body when we're happy and we feel comfortable and we feel loved and supported are even more nutritious to our body and how it works than the actual food that we're putting in our body.
Well, I think people would say, I would say they were as important. I wouldn't say more necessarily, but although if you're living under very stressful conditions, abuse, something, yes, for sure. those situations, for sure. But I feel like nutrition is something that is, again, I've come from the medical world from long ago, and it was not emphasized at all. And it has evolved over the years. My husband is a doctor. I'm a nurse anesthetist of 35 years. And we picked this up on our own. We didn't, There were those people, though, I have to tell you that they had a few, like my brother-in-law's a cardiologist, my sister-in-law's an internist, and they've been eating veganism for probably 30 years because they heard the word fat and they freaked out in the 1980s. And they are very healthy people right now. They really are still very healthy people, and they're very physically fit. However, it doesn't work like that for everybody. There are runners out there that have heart attacks that are so you have to look at what's really going on inside the individual body too. Tell me what if I were to come to you as a client, what is the process? And I mean, you don't have to get into charges and stuff, but like the time frame and let's say I'm going not even to lose weight, just because I'm an older woman who wants to have more energy and to make better choices. What would you offer me?
Okay, so I have a few different offerings. Individual work, I have different packages, a 12-session package and a 24-session package. I have clients that I've worked with for over a year because they just like to have that accountability. And sometimes clients will work with me for a while, then take a break and then come back. Because this is, like I said, a journey and a process, and we're always changing.
Ongoing,
Right, but it definitely involves at least 3 months of working together, because the fact is, when you're not trying to take on too much at once, when you're really trying to create change, sustainable change, and make shifts, it's a lot of mindset work. It's a lot of dealing with things that come up. So you need to have the time for those things to come up. You need to have holidays. You need to have vacations. You need to have stressful times. And we go through those times together so that the goal is that once we're done with our work together, you have the tools and strategies to handle those things once you're out in the world. And I always am here for past clients. And during the time we work together, I'm available all the time for support in between sessions. I do work a lot with teenagers as well. And I also do group work together. So I just finished a mindset reboot that was 2 weeks long. I partnered with a fitness trainer, and we had like an intense 2 weeks of really changing habits, changing our mindset, focusing on certain things, and doing it in a group setting, because I find that support is really, really helpful. So we had a Facebook group and a WhatsApp group and daily videos. And I'm hoping soon to start a program for mothers or parents for how to instill healthy habits in the home. And I do a lot of one-off workshops and cooking lessons and things like that. And I also have a free active Facebook page called Shift 2021 Wellness from the Inside Out. And there I do challenges, like we've done a water drinking challenge, we've done a movement challenge, and everybody's there at their own level. I also just a few weeks ago, started a weekly live session there where I talk about a particular topic. It's usually under 20 minutes, but people can ask questions. And it's just a place for support, accountability, information for people that want to make sustainable change towards living a healthier, happier life.
You do so much. It's amazing. I'm excited already to talk to you about partnering with you with certain things too. Because I have a lot of ideas, and I have other people that I would like to introduce you to that I think would go well with your plan as well.
Thank you. So, I love partnering with other people because I think we all have different things that we can add to the process.
Right. So if you were going to recommend some, like, what do you looked at what I covered, what did I miss, or what could you add to? Do you think of people? It was pretty brief, but I had like 10 things that I mentioned that you could start doing, like simple things, to drinking water and eating healthy, get rid of processed foods and so on. Is there anything that you think that was missing, or that you would like to pick one of those and talk about it a little bit, that you would like to, like your pet change?
Right. I think it was a very good list. My concern, and this has come through a year and a half of speaking to a lot of people after the trauma that we've all been through with Corona. And I think a lot of people right now aren't in a mental state to take on major things. So I would say to hone it in a little bit and just focus on a couple, like to people who are just getting started out, just focus on a couple of small changes right now. And then when you start to feel better, you'll get more motivation to take on more things. So what I've been telling people right now is really, I like to focus on what you add in rather than what you take away. Because when we feel deprived and restricted, then oftentimes there's a backlash, and we tend to want to binge on all those things that we're feeling deprived of. So I like to focus on adding in fruits and vegetables at every meal. So ultimately, at least half of your plate should be vegetables or plant foods. So just making that shift. So many of us think that the protein, the meat, or the chicken is the essence of the meal, but really that should be the side. Mark Hyman talks about this a lot. He says the condiment, like the condiment. That really should be a smaller portion of what you're eating. So just make that one step of being aware of getting in vegetables at every meal and eating a variety, different colors of vegetables. So that's one step I encourage people to take. That isn't, you don't have to calculate it, you don't have to measure it, but just eat more vegetables. The second would definitely be drink more water. I think a lot of people have trouble with that. I saw that when we did our water challenge. It takes a lot of concentration and effort to get that. But once you do it, you start to become aware of how you feel when we're dehydrated. So many people are not in tune enough with their bodies to recognize how they feel when they're dehydrated. So that will create an awareness and being in tune with our bodies of when we need to drink. And definitely to move your body more. Even if it's not actual exercise every day, but doing something to get up and move. And I also think that a lot of people are struggling right now with emotional eating, and every one of us has an emotional relationship with food. That's innate. But to start to recognize that, and it's something that is a struggle for a lot of people, and to just start with the step of asking yourself, am I really hungry, or is there some other lack inside me that I'm disguising as food or disguising as craving? So sometimes that can be exhaustion. Sometimes it can be dehydration. Those are more physical needs. Sometimes it can be loneliness or feeling out of control or stress. And addressing those emotional needs when we can with something other than food.
Thank you. And I just want to speak to that issue about how I was saying removing what's bad. Sometimes I do have to focus on that truthfully, because I don't do strictly just nutritional counseling. People come to me with a lot of different issues, and it's very imperative that they remove the toxins that are causing their problem. I think that's where that was coming from with me. But I hear what you're saying, that if you can't just always force people or insist that they remove everything, because it's setting themselves for failure instead of success.
Right. So I wouldn't put it that way. I would just say not all at once. Somebody might look at your list and be like, that's too much. I can't do any of it. Right. So it's a matter of like choosing a few things at a time so that you don't get overwhelmed. And that once you attain those goals, you move on to the next thing. So if you think about it, you have your whole life ahead of you to make these changes once you are on the path and have the right mindset. So just bringing it down into smaller steps that feel okay and that feel more manageable, because some people just get turned off from the whole process because they think it's too much or it's too hard.
Right. I agree. Okay. So that's fantastic. And I really enjoyed everything you had to say. And I hope people, if you want to contact Nechama, you see her website big and bold up there, wellnesswithnechama.com. And I imagine you can speak to anybody from all over the world, correct? Are you
Yep,
doing
I've moved largely to Zoom calls right now. I have clients in America, and it's just a matter of working out the timing, which we always figure out a way. So,
okay, that's wonderful. I might just give you a call myself, and you live close by. You did my backyard correctly, so that's great. And I really am very impressed with you, and I hope that people call you and get signed up to live a better, healthier lifestyle with an integrative nutritional coach like Nechama, specifically Nechama. And thank everybody for joining us, and thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule. Are your kids home today?
One of them is.
Okay. Right. Well, I have a granddaughter here because her Ghana is closed. So
yeah.
I'm going to take care of her next. So anyway, thank you everybody for joining us.
Thank you so much, Yehudis.
And everybody should contact Nechama with all of their questions and sign up for her brilliant programs that she's got. If you look at her website, you'll see many, many different ideas of what you can do to improve your health. And thank you, everybody. Have a great week.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.